Hello, smart investors. This is Altcoin Apex with you. And today we'll be talking about Algorand. Algorand used to be one of my favorite cryptocurrency and still is one of my go-to trading uh, crypto because for daily trading, it has good volume on Binance. And I primarily trade on Binance. It has a spot volume of 38 to 40 million every 24 hours, which is good. And here, let's see if there is any information here. On Binance, it's showing right now at 18.1 cent or 18.01 cent. It has more volume than most of the coins that I trade. For the past few days, even ICP had only 1 million for 24 hours. And then Algorand had pretty good trading volume. So what we want to talk about today is that Algorand's performance, according to the chart, we'll come back to this in a second. But first, I want you to guys take a look at this thing. This I pulled up from CNN website, and it's fear and greed index in total markets, stock market, commodities, everything. Here you can see it. I'm sure if you dig in, Bitcoin is even here in the list. But right now, I want you to take a look at this left side of the page, and it's showing extreme fear on 17. And if you guys remember, just not so long ago, that when the Bitcoin was 100 plus thousand and the markets were soaring and everything, and we were in extreme greed territories above 60 or something, and everybody was shouting that price could go only higher and there's so much good news and all that. Same thing is happening right now in front of your eyes, but in the opposite direction. Market is down, red, and everybody is screaming that it'll go lower. And even fear and greed index is way extreme fear. People are thinking like there are bad news, there will be a lot of downside to come. Maybe not, but you have to think uh, contrarian if you want to be somewhat successful in this market. So in my opinion, in these very red times, you should be greedy and start accumulating and start looking into good trades, like the favorite coins, for example, whatever you have. If in this case, if it's Algorand, you can start looking into places where you can long, for example, right? See where we are at. We will come back to this in a second. I don't want to make this video very long, but I just want you to pay attention to this part of the page. So let's go back to one thing I want to show you guys is that we are done with crypto bubbles. I want to show you liquidation heat map for the past 24 hours. This is the CoinGlass website. I'll put the link in the description later on. You can have a look by yourselves too. The market is driven by liquidity. If you guys remember, when we came down here below 86,000 briefly, and then should jump up like to 88,000. Why we did that, even though there was a tariff news coming out in few hours, right? It is because of this huge zone where liquidations and in general liquidity was built up. This liquidity was at 87,900. Now we reached 88,000 plus and then straight back down below, even way below 86. So these two liquidity zones have been swept. Now market maker will be looking into other zones which is possible liquidity building up. I'm not sure if it's going to be lower or higher. Time will tell. But if global money supply will keep increasing and we are following global money supply closely, probably price will be following the money supply to the upside. But that's in few weeks to come because there is a lag in between the price and the money supply, right? So let's get back to Algorand. What I want to show you guys is I googled and actually I checked it on CoinGecko, top 100 blockchains according to their TVL. TVL is total value locked, to keep the network secure, to keep the network fast, and operational, right? So the sad part with Algorand is that blockchain is amazing, though. Sad part is that we are not in the top 100. This one is already the second page. I was skimming through it. I couldn't find it on the top 100, so we'll go back to the first page here, and you can go through all of them. First, of course, top five will be Ethereum, Solana, BNB, Bitcoin because of the Lightning Network, and then you have Tron chain. Tron is amazing because I've used it in the past to send transactions to a friend or P2P transactions. It is super cheap, super fast, and it is in this list. And it's not on the list only, but it's on the top of the list. Then you have like Base, Arbitrum. Some of them are even built on Ethereum, like Arbitrum, Aptos, for example, right? And the Polygon. These are already built on Ethereum as a subchain. So imagine Ethereum gets a lot of hate, but if you look at the reality of things, Ethereum is still the king when it comes to blockchain activities, right? A lot of stable coins built on it. I'm sure, let's see which stable coins are built on Algorand, because there are a lot of stable coins that other blockchains don't have, especially the big ones. Algorand, here, several stablecoins, including USDC and USDT, are built on Algorand blockchain as asset standard assets, ASAS or ASA, offering faster and cheaper transactions compared to Ethereum, right? So there are stablecoins built on Algorand. This is a huge deal. But what we want to see is we want to see Algorand to be in this list for total value locked. We are nowhere in the top 100, not even I think in top 200, maybe in top 200. I could see it, but I didn't really go in deep in that because what I care is top 50 even, right? So then the revenue that we generate. You know what is the daily revenue of Algorand? I think it's in $1,000, like in the, I don't know, between seven to 23,000 dollars. These guys make millions, few hundred thousand. Like BNB chain makes 300 plus thousand a day or something like that, and per month they make millions. So we want to get to that stages, right? Algorand is an amazing cryptocurrency to trade with. So let's take a look. Now we're back in the chart of Algorand. I don't want to make this video too long. Sorry for ranting. What we want to see is the liquidity just above here. As soon as we take out this area, if we can secure above it, which I think we will very soon, because what I'm looking at is this little box. This is a huge support zone, and right now we're hovering on it. We're not like falling apart and losing that support. Plus, daily RSI is pretty low right now. We are at the 40 and recovering slowly. So as soon as we are above the SMA, because yesterday, if you guys remember, when we pumped, I was pretty optimistic, but I knew because of the tariff news, we'd come back down. So this SMA 21 line, it will keep us as a resistance for some time. But as soon as we're above it, the next area to look for is here at 21 cents. Once you're above 21 cents, let me remove this and show you what it will look like if we can get above it in the near future. Something like this, go above it and secure here and hold as support for at least 3 days. 2 to 3 days usually is my opportunity point, right? So as soon as we're doing that in the chart, that should be your signal to go into long until this next resistance. Let me show you here. This fair value gap will be filled as soon as we secure this above this 21 cents zone. We will get here. There's not a question, because you cannot just secure for a few days where people are willing to pay more and then come back down here, unless something like a black swan event happens again. We will not immediately crash here. We have to go and retest this zone, which is the fair value gap, at around, if we can get to the top of it, it's around at 28 cents. And this will be a huge zone to pass, because let me mark it out so you can see what's going on. This is going to be a huge zone that will hold us for some time. It's not going to be easy because by the time you get there, pay attention. This area, RSI, will be already here somewhere. On a daily, it's probably going to be somewhere like 68, 70 even, because it's not going to just stay here, right? So when RSI is overheated, it will coincide with the resistance zone right here, 27, 28 zone, right? Because this is going to hold you. Once you are above it, when RSIs and stochastic RSI is reset, then we have a chance to go up. But it depends on what Bitcoin is going to do, and depends on the liquidity. If we have more liquidity to hunt for Bitcoin, right? So what I want you guys to pay attention to is, if you are holding Algorand, Algorand usually dumps a little bit harder when we go down, but pumps harder when we go up. So if you think market is gonna go down, we are below resistance zone, it's better to switch to, like, arbitrage it to Ethereum or some other coins that holds better, which I do usually. I switch to Ethereum and I hold Ethereum. And as soon as the dump is over and we're holding support like we are doing now, I switch back to Algorand, all my funds, let's say, and then hold it throughout the pump so I can buy back more Ethereum or more of Solana or more of whatever you want to do, right? Because Algorand, whenever it pumped, if you compare it with other charts, let's compare it now to, for example, ETH, right? ETH is becoming my favorite again, and typically because it moves really good and it holds its value. So every time when we pump, ETH pumps less than, oh, this is ETH dominance by mistake, sorry. Let's go to ETH USDT. So every time when we pump, ETH pumps 1-2%, let's say, like here, for example, right? Until the top, what, 5%? Now let's go back. So from the day here, 20, so April 25, yeah, April 25, right? 1 hour, you will see what I'm talking about, because every time when we pump with Algorand, Algorand pumps more than Ethereum, so you can arbitrage play it. Here, 7.22. Algorand pumps 7.22%, which is 2.5 almost percent more than Ethereum. So you would make 2.5% more. But when it dumps harder, and Ethereum dumps less. So these kind of things you want to consider. But what I want you guys to take away from this video is, if you are Algorand holder, watch this zone carefully. It is at 21 cents, as I mentioned earlier. This area was a huge resistance, but I knew we wouldn't easily pass because of the tariff news, this area. Because if you look at the chart, you need to look at it as its zones rather than just lines like this, right? Because it could go more and it will look like it's going to keep going. And as soon as you enter, it will crash back down to the mean, basically, to where the move has started. In this case, it was at 17 and a half cents. So it started from here, we went up all the way, hold it as a support to 50% zone. If you put the Fibonacci, this is 50% zone, right? Then immediately we came crashing back down after that failed rally. So watch this zone like a hawk, guys. I wish you all the best. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. We are gonna get monetized very soon. Thank you for your support. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, all of you guys.